Hey guys, Derek here. Welcome back to the channel, or welcome for the first time if you are new. We are back with another trailer reaction here on the channel. This one is the official trailer for Tales of the Empire. If you're unaware, last year or the year before, Star Wars put out a series of kind of short stories following a couple Jedi that we had wanted to learn a little bit more about, and they called it Tales of the Jedi. This appears like it's going to be kind of like a pseudo season 2, kind of like an anthology type thing, but instead of telling more stories about the Jedi, this time it's going to be from the Empire's perspective, and that's very, very interesting. Just judging from the thumbnail, it appears one of those individuals that we're going to be following is Barriss Offee, who we have not seen in quite a while. I think the last time that we saw her was when she was framing Ahsoka, right? I feel like that's the last time we saw her in the Clone Wars. So it's been quite a long time since we've seen her, and I'm very curious if like the same voice actress is playing her, you know, what her role is going to be, like what is the deal? that is what I'm very curious about. So we're going to jump into this trailer. Before we do that, if you end up enjoying this reaction, please leave a like on the video. It means a lot to me. If you're new here, hit subscribe, ring the bell so you're notified when I upload, especially if you want to see me react to this show or any other Star Wars content, because I watch a ton of Star Wars stuff on the show already, or rather on the channel already. And then if you're interested in seeing full uncuts for anything I watch on the channel, including this show, consider supporting me either on Patreon or by joining YouTube memberships. You just sync up your own copy of the show and you can watch along with me. But other than that, let's check out the official trailer for Tales of the Empire.
Why do you seek Imperial favor?
Years ago, my people were all but destroyed.
Ooh, is that Morgan Elsbeth?
My anger gives me strength. It is that strength
Yo, okay.
I offer the Empire.
That's kind of rad. And I think that's Thrawn, actual Thrawn playing Thrawn as well.
Barriss.
Just be glad you're not a Jedi anymore.
Your path is set, Morgan Elsbeth. I will fulfill my destiny.
Okay. Oh, Grand Inquisitor. Oh, so Barriss is going to become an Inquisitor.
But I will help you overcome this weakness. Attack!
You said the Empire would help to change things.
Everything comes at a cost. My world has been burning since I was a child. You cannot stop what has begun.
Now you must face one final test. To join us. It is time you meet your new master.
I think that's Jason Isaacs playing the Grand Inquisitor's voice again as well. She's already met him before.
Empire.
Oh, I like the way it burns away. Yo, this is gonna be so cool. Okay, this looks kind of sick because it's two stories that I didn't ever really think we were gonna see again. One of them being Barriss. Obviously, we recapped a little bit of what she went through in Clone Wars, but I didn't ever think we were gonna see her again, and I honestly didn't care that much. I know there were a ton of people that really wanted to see her again. They're like, what happened to Barriss? We need more Barriss. Just because she had somewhat of a personal connection to Ahsoka and betrayed her, and then we really never like saw her again. And so seeing how she goes from where she was to essentially being inducted into the Inquisitors and fighting her way through there. Maybe she makes it all the way through. Maybe she doesn't. Maybe Vader kills her. I don't know. That would be kind of like particularly heartbreaking, because she already knows Vader, technically. Like, she's met Anakin, and I wonder if, like, maybe that's how her story ends in her 3 episodes. Is, you know, she recognizes something that he does, or like senses it somehow, and she recognizes that he's Anakin, and then he kills her because she knows, like, he can't let that secret get out. That would be kind of a heartbreaking conclusion to her story. Or maybe, you know, she's going through the Inquisitors and she turns back to the light side. That would be another interesting possibility as well. Either way, I'm pretty curious to see just like the whole process of how she goes through Inquisitor school, essentially. That seems like a fun time. The other character that I wasn't really expecting to see a story about her is Morgan Elsbeth. I think that's super cool. From what I can tell, it's essentially going to be a story about probably her past on Dathomir and how she was kind of with the Night Sisters. She was never a full-fledged Night Sister as far as I'm aware. I think there's like an actual like process that you have to go through to become one of those. Maybe she failed her test with the sleeper. Maybe some other thing happened. I don't know. I'm currently reading through the book Dark Disciple, and they are currently on Dathomir and going through this whole process. And so I'm very curious to see if there's any crossover in terms of like what we can see for maybe like her young age. And then I assume Grievous decimates all of them because that's what Grievous does. And then we get to see her joining up with Thrawn and becoming a real like asset to the Empire. And then, I mean, obviously, if you have seen Ahsoka, you know where her story goes from there. But that just, I don't know, it's so cool. I like the fact that she's like becoming a bigger character, because I think the actress who plays Morgan Elsbeth started acting like real late in her life, like 40s or 50s, and only over the last like 10 years has she like been acting and like getting roles. And like one of her first big roles ever is Morgan Elsbeth in Star Wars, and she's just become such like a huge fan of like the whole process and being a part of it all. And so it's just really cool to see her like get additional stuff. I assume it's the same person voicing her as well, so that's really cool. And obviously we got the voice of Thrawn back. He played him in live action as well, but it's cool to see him back as well. Updated models for General Grievous and all these other characters. I'm just really excited to see where this story takes us, and I'm glad that it's not just like, hey, here's some more stories about the Jedi, because I feel like, I don't know, a lot of people want Star Wars to like branch out into like different eras and, you know, tell us stories about, you know, Jedis that have no connection to any of the story that we've been experiencing so far. And I think they're kind of doing that with the books in the High Republic and now the Acolyte. But for a lot of these things, I think they want to keep things rooted in the story that we have known. And they kind of ran out of Jedi to talk about. So they're like, you know what? Let's talk about some bad guys. You know, everyone loves seeing the story from the bad guy's perspective. It takes that black and makes it a little bit more gray. And in turn then makes every story, like every rewatch we have of these stories, or every story going forward, just makes it a little more complicated, a little harder to just strictly be like good versus evil. And I think that's good. I think that's more fun, and stories are better when not all the time. Sometimes you need a good versus evil story. But I also think a lot of the times, like, villains are better when they're more complicated and they have believable reasons behind what they're doing, and somewhat sympathetic reasons behind what they're doing, and you can kind of relate to them a little bit. I think villains work so well when you do that with them. Obviously, like in the Marvel Universe, Loki, we were able to really get to know him, and then by the end, we see his character growth and how he goes from evil to good, and then is now like the savior of the multiverse. So like the way that you can develop characters, I think, is so cool. And I hope they keep doing this like anthology type thing. Like maybe after this they do like Tales of the Mandalorian or something like that, and you can see, you know, maybe stories from Bo-Katan's youth, like her and her sister, or you can see more tales of Boba Fett, or like maybe they do Tales of the Bounty Hunters. I don't know. you can get some insight into Cad Bane's life. I don't know. I think there's a lot of cool things that they could do, and I'm very curious to see where it leads. But yeah, I think that's all I have to say. Definitely let me know what you guys thought down in the comments below. I'm very curious to see all your opinions. Otherwise, if you enjoyed my reaction, please leave a like on the video. It means a lot to me. If you're new here, hit subscribe, ring the bell so you're notified when I upload. And then if you're interested in seeing full uncuts for anything I watch on the channel, including this show, consider supporting me on Patreon or joining YouTube memberships. You just sync up your own copy of the show and you can watch along with me. But other than that, thank you for watching, and I will catch you guys next time.